Oscar De La Hoya says he feels bad for Terence Bud Crawford. He says he may never make it to the Hall of Fame with Bob Arum leading the way. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, Oscar De La Hoya, he's promoting Canelo versus Kovalev. That's his company's next big fight. And there was an uphill battle with him and Ryan Garcia. Canelo looks like they have things calmed down. And November 2nd is going down. Also, subscribe to ESPN Plus. I am an affiliate. It helps the channel, and the link is in the description. Now, there was basically the promo stuff for the Canelo Kovalev fight. And De La Hoya told Bob Arum, he lashed out at him, said, stop salivating over Canelo. He's not your fighter. This is our fighter, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then he talks about Terence Crawford. This is what De La Hoya had to say. He said, I think I bit my tongue 9 times holding back. The fight with Canelo versus Kovalev was going to be non-existent a few days ago, but you have to have a lot of patience. A boxer and his promoter, it's like a marriage. You have your little scuffles here and there, and you have your little traps. He wins, I win, or she wins, I win, or whatever. At the end of the day, you love each other. That's what boxing is. It's a sport where you have your ups and downs. You bite your tongue. You have a lot of patience. Like I said, we have a huge target on our backs. Everybody wants a piece of us. You have to strategize and be smarter than them. Bob Arum, he was fantasizing over Canelo Alvarez. He was salivating over him. He has Terence Crawford. What is he doing for him? He's not doing anything for him. I actually feel bad that Terence Crawford might not ever get to the Hall of Fame one day because Bob Arum can't get him a fight. Ooh. He says, look, Canelo Alvarez is with us. He's with Team Golden Boy for many more years. Ryan Garcia is Team Golden Boy for many more years. Bob Arum, stop salivating. Leave our fighters alone and let us do our job. We talked it over and re-signed him to a very lucrative contract, and he's really happy. You know, referring to Ryan Garcia, he said he got one of the most lucrative deals for a prospect ever. Ryan, he's going to fight on November 2nd on the undercard against Romero Duno. And, you know, he tells Bob Arum to leave his fighters alone. You're not in charge of them. You don't have them. So I don't know what you're doing. Man, I disagree with Oscar De La Hoya. I think Terence Crawford is going to be a Hall of Famer. I think he's a generational fighter. And at this point in boxing, I think the fights are going to come. The thing with Terence Crawford and, like, let's say Errol Spence, I think the fight is going to happen. It's just not going to happen on Bob Arum's time. PBC holds the most stake in the welterweight division. So, you know, they're building up Errol Spence, giving him the opportunities to unify and prove himself with Sean Porter, maybe a Pacquiao fight, you know, maybe Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, stuff like that. And I think they're aligning Errol Spence to be in the position where when he does fight Crawford, there's no doubt about it who's the A side. Like, I seen a recent interview where Terence Crawford said he's the A side over Spence. And I've already stated my opinion. I think both Spence and also Terence Crawford are phenomenal fighters. I really don't know who would win if they fight each other, but by the time they fight, I think if Errol Spence keeps winning and Terence Crawford keeps winning, presumably, there's no way that Terence Crawford would be the A side, because he's going to end up having to fight whoever, like De La Hoya is saying, whoever they can get for Crawford. You know, the Benavidez's of the world, Mean Machine, Luis Collazo, stuff like that. Maybe Kell Brook, maybe, you know, things like that. While Terence Crawford is fighting them, Errol Spence will be fighting Sean Porter and bigger names and, you know, more highly regarded welterweights until they meet. So De La Hoya has a point with that. I still think Terence Crawford will be a Hall of Famer. Me personally, he was already undisputed at 140. He's already made weight class jumps. He looks like he has the determination. It's just going to require some patience. You know, De La Hoya has a point kind of with based on the landscape. Top Rank just don't have that many quality fighters. Pacquiao left. Jesse Vargas is with DAZN, and he was with Al Heyman before that. Ruslan Provodnikov retired. Juan Manuel Marquez retired. So Top Rank just don't have anybody to feed. And then when they had Pacquiao and they had Crawford, for whatever reason, Bob Arum says he pulled the plug and never made the Pacquiao versus Crawford fight. So Crawford does need a big name to really become a household name. He's a terrific fighter, skilled fighter, disciplined, everything you could ask for in a fighter. But, so Arum, he has to keep working and then keep Terence Crawford busy and motivated, because the worst thing is if Terence Crawford is put in a position like Tyson Fury, although it'd be for different reasons, but Tyson Fury fought a guy he wasn't supposed to look bad against, and he looked bad. So you never want to be in that position where you're not getting the names you want, and then maybe you slack off and get complacent, and then somebody challenges you more than expected and or beats you. That's the worst thing, like Anthony Joshua Ruiz or whatever. But from what I know of Terence Crawford, he seems disciplined, so I don't think he's gonna allow that to happen. Personally, I think he cares too much about his own, legacy, and I think he's just highly competitive. So I don't think he's gonna allow himself to fall off. That's just not something that's taught, being that competitive and stuff like that. So I think Crawford will be fine. More or less, this is Oscar De La Hoya taking a shot at Bob Arum. And I don't know what it is, but clearly something's up with the Canelo situation. Canelo was asked, hey, De La Hoya says he considers you guys good friends. Do you consider him a good friend? And he sighed and took a long pause. It was very awkward. And then he said, yes. And it looked like he didn't want to say that. You know what I'm saying? So whatever was going on, he was retweeting Ryan Garcia when he was going at Golden Boy. So I think something's up. I think they're bound by a contract maybe, and Canelo knows that. But I think Canelo's a little bit frustrated with Golden Boy, or a lot of bit frustrated with Golden Boy for whatever reason. And, it's just the promoters taking jabs. Bob Arum takes jabs at Eddie Hearn and sometimes Al Heyman and De La Hoya, and he's been really favorable to Canelo. Like in his speech, he keeps saying about Triple G make him wait, and Canelo's the A side and stuff. So De La Hoya picks up on it. But I think De La Hoya got to get real active in his fighters' careers and in really with his company, because he has a few names, but if they lose, it's going to be bad for Golden Boy, because they haven't really been able to build and sustain some of the big names. He has, like I said, a couple of people. So, and then on top of that, he believes that the ops, the other advisors and promoters are looking at his fighters. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful, because Canelo's a quality fighter. If you don't keep him happy and somehow he gets released from DAZN or buys himself out of his contract like Floyd did with Top Rank, then that's going to hurt Golden Boy immensely. Let me know what you guys think. Will Terence Crawford be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done? I think it's more so the waiting game. And, I'm trying to think of the situation objectively. I really don't know what Bob Arum could do. Like, see, this is the thing. De La Hoya, he's taking a shot at Arum, but he ain't gave Canelo Charlo, a fight that is not mandated, that fans would love, and is on the PBC side. He hasn't gave him Demetrius Andrade, who's aligned with Eddie Hearn and DAZN already on his side. So it's kind of hypocritical. Like, I understand where De La Hoya is coming from in one regard for Terence Crawford, but then the other angle of it is, look at your fighters. Who would you're putting Canelo in there with Kovalev, who he just said if he would have lost to Anthony Yard, he was about to retire. So Crawford is nowhere near looking like Kovalev. Crawford is in the point where I don't even know if he's reached his peak. You know what I'm saying? So he's still young enough and still smart enough as a fighter where he could play the waiting game a little bit. But, it's kind of hard when Al Heyman has all the top quality welterweights and they have their own plans for what they want to do. What can you really do? Like, what fight would he be able to get for Terence Crawford that makes the most sense when there's already plans in motion for most of the PBC guys? So, it just sounds like he's more so taking a shot, because I really don't know that he would do anything different. Because same thing with Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia is a champion. He ain't never fought none of the top guys at 154, because the top guys at 54 are with PBC. You know, Julian J. Rock Williams, Jared Hurd, Edis Lara, right? Jermell Charlo. So Jaime Munguia is the same thing as Crawford, but worse. Crawford already unified a division. Jaime Munguia hasn't fought anybody. Whoever the fuck the Aladi robot dude was that made no facial expressions, him, Dennis Hogan, nobody knew who that was from Australia. So, you know, De La Hoya kind of has some nerve even responding. Crawford has already moved multiple weight divisions. Jaime Munguia hasn't. They said he might move to 160. I don't know what type of success he is. So, I don't know. All in all, I think there's more banter, just promoters taking shots, and De La Hoya doesn't like that. Bob Arum likes Canelo, and, you know, just a pissing contest. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.